everybody, welcome to Bones Collector, and today we're going to continue on our series of videos called Ultimate Top 100 Board Games, and I'm having a lot of fun doing this. I apologize for the videos not coming out as frequently as we would like, but the holidays kind of catch up to us and cost us a lot of time, and then also this is just something that I do for fun and as part of my hobby. I just do it to kind of communicate my passion for board gaming, and so my video content isn't going to be quite as frequent as some of the other channels you may watch. Let's get started on the next 10 games, and the first one I'm going to talk about is a game from 2014 called Rattlebones. Rattlebones was published by Rio Grande Games, and it says right on the box, made in the USA with pride. How often do you see that? I mean, I really like that. But it's a fantastic board game. It was designed by Stephen Glenn for 2 to 4 players, and this is a dice crafting game. And I did a video, probably, gosh, it's been at least 2 years ago maybe, about Rattlebones versus Dice Forge. Dice Forge is another dice crafting game. I played both of them many times, and Lori and I decided that we had more fun playing Rattlebones. I like it a lot better, and I'll tell you why. First of all, there's a modular board in this game, and I do have to show you a few things about this game. I apologize, I don't want the video to be long, but I want to take the time to show you a couple of things. Just explain to you how the game works. But this is the board. Yeah, this is the board, and you have these blank spaces, this discoloration here. The game gives you 12 board tiles that go on those spaces. So with those and the ones that are already printed on the board, you have quite a few spaces that you can move to. It's a point-to-point movement, and you're going to roll dice to get that done. And around the outside of the board is the scoring track, and the players will have a mouse of their color on the scoring track, and then also Mr. Rattlebones, this big black wooden piece, is also on the scoring track, and he's going to move toward the players, and the players are moving toward Mr. Rattlebones, and whoever gets to Mr. Rattlebones first wins the game. That's how it works. And as players score more points and get closer and closer to Mr. Rattlebones, of course the pressure intensifies, and that's what makes this a really, really fun game. One of the things that makes it a fun game. I just wanted to show you that real quick. And another thing I wanted to show you about this game are the dice that you're crafting. In Dice Forge, I played that game, and the dice in that game were just so light, I just didn't like them. And the game wasn't as good as this either, I didn't think. But these are heavy, chunky dice. Great big, too. They're real big and chunky, and they have regular pips on them, and they also, for the one, every one of these dice has a picture of Mr. Rattlebones. When you roll Mr. Rattlebones, you move him one space closer to the players, going in the other direction. And then you also get to move one of your monkeys. You have 3 monkeys that move around the board, and you can pick one of those to move one space. But yeah, these dice are very nice. And then what you're going to do with those dice is when you move to a space on the board that has these big icons, you're going to get a dice face that you can put on the die that you rolled if you wish. You don't have to, but you can. And so if you, for instance, if you landed on this arrow, you can choose to put that arrow dice face on the die that you rolled to get to that space. You have to use that dice. You put that new face on the die itself, and then now that die is a little more powerful, because when you roll that arrow, it's going to point to another space on the die, and maybe you have something else, another die face, maybe a gold coin die face, and so you put the arrow pointing towards the gold coin, and when you roll that arrow, boom, you turn it over and you get the gold coin. And that's the kind of things you're trying to build when you're crafting these dice. It's really, really a fun game, and one of the things you have to do, and I have to tell you, and this was kind of something that Rio Grande should have done, is you're going to have to buy one of these plastic containers for all the die faces. Otherwise, they'll be all over the place. And it makes it so easy. Now when we play this game, we just unclip the lid to this thing and set it by the board. And whenever we want one of the die faces, we pull it out of this little container and put it on our die. And then you get these little pink tools to remove the die face and you just snap the new one in. Now, I've had this game for years, and we play it, and I've had no problem with anything getting too loose or not working properly. I really enjoy it. You have 3 monkeys each player, and they're real nice chunky pieces, and you have a wooden mouse that goes around the scoring track. So I love everything about the production of this game, except the fact that they didn't include something like this. And I really love this game. Again, you have to think about what you want to do, because in the middle of the board there's a railroad engine that goes around this way and scores different points when you roll that die face. So there's a lot of different things you can do, but you don't want to have the die not have any pips on or any movement, because you still might want to move. So there's kind of a balance that you have to strike there. And once players start getting close, it's really intense trying to figure out how you're going to get there first. And that's the fun of Mr. Rattlebones. I love this game. I've had it for quite a few years. Again, it's the best dice crafting game that I've played, and the reason why that is this one is so much fun. I really enjoy it. It's kind of a creepy circus theme to it, but it kind of puts me in that frame of mind when I see this picture. And it's a great Halloween game because of that too, but it's kind of creepy looking, and I really enjoy it, and it's a lot of fun, and that's Rattlebones. Okay, the next game on the list, number 49, is going to be a game called Toria. Toria is a game by Inca and Marcus Brand and Michael Reinick. Michael Reinick, I believe, did Santiago de Cuba, which I really like. And then, of course, Inca and Marcus Brand. I already covered Village earlier in this series, an outstanding game. And then I also covered Raja the Ganges. So excellent board game designers. And so you expect this game to be really good, and it is. First of all, Toria came out in 2016. It's 2 to 4 players. It's a pick up and deliver game, point-to-point movement. It has kind of a medieval adventure feel to it. The art is by Clemens Franz, excellent artist, and the board is just wonderful. Everything in this game is beautiful. I really enjoy this game, and some of the unique mechanisms in this game is the avatar, or the thing that you're moving around the board, is shared by everyone. The avatar kind of looks like Dorothy, Tin Man, and the Scarecrow and the Lion, you know. So everybody's using that avatar. You can move 3 spaces, and you want to go to a place and take an action, and somebody's going to move that away from where you want to go every time. I mean, it's absolutely frustrating, but it's one of the wonderful parts of this game. And then also on the board are these 4 spinning towers. And these towers have an action on each side, a different action. And it's also illustrated on the top, so you can see them from the top. But wherever you happen to be sitting on the table, the faces that are facing you, those are the 4 actions you can take. And when you choose one, you're simply going to spin the tower and change the action for the next turn. So all players are looking at the towers from a different direction, and so the actions for each player are going to be different. And that's the cool thing. I love these spinning towers. It's a great innovative idea, and it's part of the enjoyment of this game and the beauty of it. This game is so charming, it's so wonderful, and then of course the object of the game is to find the princess and prince. Now the king has said, hey, I want to marry off my daughter, the princess, this beautiful girl, and also her brother, the prince, is on the same tile in the castle, so that when you gather what you need as far as resources that allow you entry into the castle, you're going to be faced with turning over 9 tiles. And if you turn over the prince and princess first, of course you don't have to go on, but that rarely happens. There's 9 of those tiles. Every one of them have a different resource on them. Only one has the princess and the prince on it. So whenever you go into that castle and you've paid your entry fee, you're going to turn over one of those tiles. If it has a resource on it that you did not bring with you, which you can do. You don't have to have those items. But if you turn that tile over and it has, let's say, a ruby on it, you didn't bring a ruby with you, you stop. And the other players get a turn. So now they get a chance to catch up. And then you're going to choose another tile out of those 9 and turn it over. And it may have a gold coin on it. If you didn't bring a gold coin with you, you have to stop. Now if you brought a gold coin with you, you can turn over another tile. See what I'm saying? So you want to bring some things with you to the castle so that you're not totally devoid of extra turns once you start flipping over those tiles, because you're allowing the other players to catch up. And that does happen in this game, and it has happened to us, where one person gets to the castle and maybe has to stop a couple of times from turning over those tiles, and the other player pays their entry fee, gets to the castle, and turns over and finds the prince and princess before that person who got there first is able to do so. So that's just the wonderful part of this game. I really enjoy it. It's so much fun, but it's a lovely, fun time, and that's why I play board games, folks, just to have fun. And this game is a lot of fun. It's quick, 2 players, 30, 35, 40 minutes, very quick, and I like that. And it's fun. And it's not the type of game where you have to think so hard that you can't speak to anybody at the gaming table. It is a light game. There's enough going on that you still want to play it, and you still want to play it over and over again. And I enjoyed it very much, and I think you will too if you like these style of games. I like Rattlebones, right along that same type of complexity. That's Toria. Yeah, came out 2016. Okay, the next game on my list is an old game, and that doesn't make it bad though, but it's very heavy. Oh gosh. Dominion. Dominion is from 2008. It's designed by Donald Vaccarino, and it's for 2 to 4 players. It is the granddaddy of deck building games, and it has a variable setup so you can play it over and over again. I just weighed this box before I started this video. It weighs 10 pounds. I have the base game and 3 other expansions in here, so it's very heavy. It's full of cards. We don't have a lot of space here, and I wanted some expansions for Dominion, so we made a decision to get rid of the boxes and put everything in one box. And I have dividers separating all the cards, and I don't know, I'm looking back on it, I kind of wish I hadn't done that, but it is what it is. I already did it. Dominion's an outstanding game from 2008, and you simply have a market of cards that you're going to buy as you get more money during the preliminary rounds of the game, and you're going to buy those cards from a market when 3 of those supply decks become empty, or the province deck, which is the highest scoring deck, when that gets emptied, or 3 supply decks, one or the other. That triggers the end of the game, and you count up your points, and the winner is the one with the most estate cards or estate points. It's a game that you can play this in 2 people that are very familiar with this game. You're going to be done in 20 minutes. And I like that. You're just playing cards and taking actions, and it's very enjoyable. I think the theme is you're a monarch trying to build up your dominion or your area and into the biggest and best, and that's the whole point of this. The art on the cards is gorgeous, and another reason why I like Dominion so much is because they have black borders around all the cards, and I like that better than cards with no borders. I like it. I like having a frame around a picture on the wall. Something about it. It's evocative because of the frame. And I think that's the way I look at Dominion. I really enjoy the art on these cards. I love the fact that they always stuck to their guns, and all their expansions had the black borders around the cards. I really love this game. And it's an excellent one. And it's so much fun to play. Dominion from 2008. Okay. Number 47, a game from 2006, so another older game called Turn and Taxis by Andreas and Karen Seaforth. And Andreas Seaforth did Puerto Rico. So if you like Puerto Rico, same designer. And that's something to note when you're looking for board games. The art is by Michael Menzel, and I really love the art in this game. That's why I'm mentioning it. And it's for 2 to 4 players from 2006. And it's card drafting and network and route building. Oh yeah, by the way, Spiel des Jahres winner in 2006, so I'm not the only one that thought this game was really good. And I love the picture on the front of this box. This is the kind of thing, Michael Menzel, I mean, I just really love that. It's gorgeous. And Turn and Taxis, you know, when I first saw that, I thought it was a game about taxi cabs or something. But Turn and Taxis are the names of some families in Germany, some well-to-do families, who created the modern day postal system. So you're route building across a map of Europe with city cards that are laying 6 of them face up on the board. And you're going to choose one of those city cards and add it to your route. You're trying to build routes, and you can start scoring them at 3 or larger. But you might want to wait. I mean, you can score that 3 set, but you might want to wait and get it to be a little larger so you can get some of the bonus tiles that are on the board. You get bonus tiles for completing regions. It's a race game because you have 20 houses, each player, and you're trying to complete those routes, and once you complete a route, you can put houses on those cities according to the rules, because there are different ways you can do that. I'm not going to explain that, but you can put your houses on the board and you're trying to get rid of all 20 of them. When you've gotten rid of all 20 of them, or a person has taken the number 7 carriage, there's different carriages across the top of the board, and they're different point totals, so you're trying to get those, and you earn one by the size of the route that you're building. So when someone takes that number 7 carriage, that also triggers the end of the game. And then the key to this game, though, however, is 4 officials that are at the top of the board, and it's like postmaster, and I can't remember what the other guys are, but there's some different guys that have to do with the Postal Service, and each one of them performs a different action, and the magic of this game is working one of those 4 actions, because you can do one every turn, and you want to work your game strategy to include something that one of those officials does to help you. There's not a lot of components in this game, but I'm going to take the lid off and show you one of the things I really like about this game, and that is the fact that there's a nice little insert that holds everything, and I like that because it helps setup times enormously. So I really enjoy it, and there's a place for everything in this box. Your card deck, your bonus tiles, of which there are many different kinds, and then all the houses for the players. And that is it, folks. And a nice, beautiful board map of Europe, a place for your carriages across the top. I might as well take a second and show you the officials if you've never played this game. I mean, maybe you've never played this. Yeah, beautiful map of Europe, and up here are the 4 officials that I talked about. And each one of them does a different action. You name your official and say, yeah, I'm going to take the action of the postmaster. And you do that action, so that type of thing. So it's really an awesome game. We just got done playing it 4 times the other night and just had an excellent time playing it. That's Turn and Taxis from 2006, 2 to 4 players. It's a wonderful route building game. Okay. Now, game number 46 of the day, and that is a game by Matthias Kramer called Croft Wagon V6. It's from 2015, and it's 2 to 4 players. This is an economic and manufacturing simulation, which I just love this game, and it's a rondel action selection mechanism. It has a Grand Prix track, there's set collection going on, and I love auto simulations. There's a few of them out there. I've played 3 that I really enjoy, and that's Automania, Kanban, and Croft Wagon. And I had all 3 of them at one time, and we decided, Lori and I, that we couldn't keep all 3 of them. So we kept the 2 we liked the most, and that was Kanban EV and Croft Wagon. I really liked Automania, but it just didn't feel greasy like the auto industry's supposed to. And this game feels greasy. But I love this game, and of course Matthias Kramer, I think he did Lancaster and, of course, Glenmore, and the same mechanism that's in Glenmore, turn mechanism, is in Croft Wagon. That rondel has, I don't know, 16 action tiles. I don't know if it's that many, but it has 16 action tiles on it. It's in a square, and then the turn mechanism works that whoever is in the back is the player that's going to go. Let's say it's your turn, and you're on the turn mechanism. You're going to select a tile that's maybe 4 tiles down the line. That leaves 3 tiles that your opponent is going to have for free because you jumped up and took a tile that you really wanted. And you really have to weigh that decision heavily. Do you really want to give your opponent that kind of advantage by jumping ahead in that line? But whoever is in the rear, it's your turn. Now if there's 3 tiles between you and the next player, you're going to get all 3 of those tiles plus 1. So that's pretty cool, and it's something to think about. It's very difficult to make those decisions, and sometimes you just want to skip 1 tile or 2 tiles and not give your opponent, a whole bunch of actions for free. But if there's a tile that or an action you really want to take, you're going to do it. And let me talk about the components a minute. The components in this game are outstanding. Stronghold, I've kind of, there's been times I've not liked their production quality, but this game is magnificent. I mean, these car tiles in here are absolutely outstanding. They're thick and heavy, old-time cars, and they name them. They tell you which every one of them are, so that's pretty cool. It has a Grand Prix track in here that are on the board that you're going to race around, and then you have to build these cars, the bodies and the engines, and you have to sell them at the market. You select the buyers from a group of buyers that are on the board, and you're going to sell those cars to those buyers. Those buyers have specific needs that they require. And so the trick is, if you have a buyer that is interested in engines, you need to have the most powerful engine on your car to sell it to that buyer. If the buyer wants a really nice car body, you need to have the highest quality car body that you can get to sell to that buyer. And you do those buyers in order. That's the tricky part. You do those buyers in order so that when you're looking at the market, when you're placing a car in the market, you know what's going to go first. All right, the buyer that wants the engine, he's in the number one space. So who's going to get that? You can tell by looking at what cars are already in the market. In a two-player game, you can only put 4 cars in the market. And once you fill up that market, it triggers the end of the round. But that's the only tricky part of this game, is figuring out which cars are sold to which buyer. If there's a tie in like engine type or body type, something like that, that buyer will go to buy the cheapest one. So even if he wants the best engine, if the best engine is on 2 of the cars in the market, the one that is the cheapest, because you determine that when you put the car in the market, you're going to put a worker on it and you're going to put a price on that car, and the cheapest one is going to break ties. So yeah, we have the best time playing this game, and it has a deck of cards called research cards, and those are going to allow you to increase your engine and body so that you can score points faster. And there's a set collection thing going on where you collect some of the icons of the auto industry from history, and that is really cool. I mean, it's just an excellent game. I really enjoy it. That's Croft Wagon V6. So yeah, that's from Matthias Kramer. What a wonderful game. I think when it first came out, it was just called Croft Wagon. But this V6 is a newer edition, and it has some additional action tiles that you can incorporate on that rondel, is all it is. And it's pretty cool. Okay, number 45 is a game from 2018 by Wolfgang Warsch. It's called Quacks of Quidlenberg, 2 to 4 players. It's kind of a medieval theme to it, really a fun type of theme. And this is a bag builder. It's got some dice rolling, and it's a push your luck game most of all, because you have a pot that you're mixing potions in and drawing those things out of your bag, those ingredients, and putting them on that swirly pot. And according to the value on that ingredient, you're going to place it that far ahead on the path, and you want to get as far up as you can, but you can bust. And when you do that, you don't get the money that you want to buy more ingredients. So yeah, it's a really fun game. We played this at a convention, and we didn't decide right away that we liked it. We played it one time at a convention, because at conventions people are waiting to play the game. So we played one time and moved on, and we got to thinking about it after we left the convention and talked about it over a period of time. And I think it was probably 4 or 5 months later we decided, you know what, let's get that game. So we did. We brought it in the house and played it, and we really learned to enjoy it. Again, there's a little bit of a luck element in this game, because you don't know what you're pulling out of that bag, but you know what? My wife is smarter than me, and she usually beats me. So if there's not a luck element in the game, I'm in trouble. So I like games like this where you can beat the smarter player if they're unlucky. So that luck element is very important to me in board gaming. It depends on the game. You know, sometimes there are games that are all luck, like Camel Up. I love playing it. It's all luck. It's 80% luck. And you can't control much in that game. And I play another one that I really enjoy called Homestretch. It's a horse racing game. It's a dice rolling luck game, but I have a great time playing it. And this has not that much luck, but I would say it's like 80% controllable and 20% luck. So I really enjoy it. That's Quacks of Quidlenberg, and there's the pretty back of the box, and you can see the potion pots there that you're going to put your ingredient tokens on. Hey, you know what? I didn't mention, yeah, this was the Kenneth Spiel de Jars winner of 2018. So how about that? Yeah, what a really great game. There was a production thing that made me mad in this game, and the ingredient tokens themselves are kind of thin, and they wear out from constant use in the bag. So we put our ingredient tokens, and I gotta show you because I want to tell you guys, be honest with you, we put ours in these, we put our ingredient tokens in these little plastic things that we got off of Amazon, right?
They're coin cases.
Coin cases? in these little coin cases that we got off Amazon. They're plastic coin cases. We've used them in other games too, because you handle these ingredient tokens constantly in Quacks and Quidlenberg. So you want to protect them, because I've seen what they look like after a lot of usage, and they really wear out. So that kind of takes a little bit of the luster off your game. So we bought these coin holders and put ours in, and they work wonderful. And we really enjoy Quacks because of it. But man, I don't know why you wouldn't go the extra mile and make some thicker tokens that wouldn't suffer from constant use, because you are using those all the time. But yeah, I'm not in charge of that end of the discussion. But yeah, Quacks of Quidlenberg, again, Kinderspiel de Jahres winner 2018, medieval theme, a lot of fun. We enjoyed immensely. Okay, game number 44 is a game from 2007. You know, sometimes you got to go back there. Some of these old games are wonderful, and it's called Thebes by Peter Prince. 2 to 4 players, and this is an exploration, an excavation game, set collection, point-to-point movement. And it uses a time wheel and a time track. It's really interesting because of that time track that goes around the outside of the board, because when you're taking actions in this game, it costs you time, and you have to decide, do I want to spend that time, because it moves you around that board faster, and when you get up to where you started from, your round is over. Now your opponent may be way down on the bottom of the board, and they're just going to keep taking actions, but you spent a bunch of time, so you ended your turn quicker, and that can be that can be tense, and I like that. And this is another game that has a little bit of an element of luck, because there are 5 different excavation sites that you're going to go to, and according to whatever knowledge you have, you're going to take your time wheel, and it will help you. You know what, I think there's a picture on the back. There's a time wheel, yeah, looks like that. And according to the knowledge that you've acquired by moving around to different cities and stuff, you're going to spin that time wheel, and it'll tell you how many tokens you can pull out of one of the excavation sites. And if you're like me and you're not the luckiest person, you need to be more prepared than maybe somebody else. Like my wife, she'll pull 3 tokens out of the bag, and they're the 3 best tokens out of 20. Yeah, I'm serious. So, but me, it doesn't happen. So I always go in like with overkill, and I'll draw 8 and maybe get 2 or 3 good ones out of 8. So that's kind of a luck element, but it's consistent with the theme, because again, you're excavating and exploring, and so that's what the theme is, and so that's what the game feels like when you play it. And I really like that. It's an excellent production of the game, and I was able to get this off, I believe, Geek Market on Board Game Geek. I love this from Queen Games, and Lori and I really love playing it. I saw Thebes around since I've been board gaming, but I never played it. And I watched it played 3 or 4 times on YouTube, and I said, you know what? I think I'll like that game. And we've had a great time playing it, you guys. And that's Thebes, number 44, 2 to 4 player game, and it's absolutely wonderful. Did I show you the back? Yeah, I showed you the back of the box, but it's got some wonderful draw bags, different colors matching the tokens that have to go inside. Those are the different excavation sites. So yeah, and a lot of card play and stuff that goes on when you're trying to acquire knowledge and spending time. I mean, it's just a wonderful game, a wonderful design by Peter Prince. Don't shut yourself out from something like that because it came out a long time ago. My wife told me there's 50 pages of new games from 2021. 50 pages. What was that on Board Game Geek? There is a ton of board games, brand new board games that came out in 2021, and very few of them are as good as Thebes. So keep that in mind. All right, now we're going to go to number 43, and number 43 is Cottage Garden from Uwe Rosenberg, one of the best board game designers in the world. And it's out in 2016. This is simply a polyomino tile laying puzzle. 1 to 4 players, so there's a solo variant. And I just love this game. This was part of a series of 3 that Uwe did. The other 2 were Spring Garden, I think, and Fall Harvest or something like that. I forget. I played all 3 of them, and I decided this was the only one that we wanted. And I love this game. It's a nice puzzle to have to work out. It's a gardening game. Everybody's going to have 2 gardens, and they're selecting polyomino. I'm just going to take these out and show you real quick.
Spring meadow.
Oh.
An Indian sun.
Oh, okay. Lori just told me from her office the other two games are Spring Meadow and Indian Summer. So I never get that right, so I'm sorry. But you're going to have two gardens that you're going to work, a dark side and a light side, like that. They're going to fit in this scoring frame. And you're going to select those polyomino shapes from a market board, and I'll show you that in a second, and you're trying to put them on these gardens. And the reason why that's such a puzzle is because you see those orange things? Those are flower pots, and the blue things are called cloches. I think that's how you say it. And you don't want to cover those up, because once you cover up all the squares other than the ones that have cloches and flower pots on them, you're going to count those that you didn't cover up, and that's going to be how you score. And on your little scoreboard thing here, you'll have 6 cubes, 3 blue and 3 orange, and you're going to go up these tracks when you score those flower gardens. The orange is the flower pots, and it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way up here to 15. But guess what? If you can get past 15, it jumps 5 to 20. So that's what you're trying to do. You want to get up here and get off of the track into the 20 section, because it's a heck of a jump. The cloches go from 14 to 20 at the end, so you got to get up there, and that's how you score in this game. So you're trying to manipulate this scoreboard, and you get different things. Once you cross this red line on the scoreboard, you get a kitty cat, and a kitty cat will cover up like a 1 square on one of your gardens if you need it. And so you need to use those. You can only have 2 of them, so you got to use them as you go. But yeah, you get one of those. So that's the scoreboard. Manipulating that scoreboard is part of the charm of this game. And it's got one of the cutest pieces in board gaming, this little wheelbarrow. I say it every time I show this game. We put all our flower pots in there, and when you're taking a tile from the market, you can like pass and just take a flower pot. Maybe you just want a flower pot, because flower pots are a point. Yeah, I showed you on the track. So if you take a flower pot instead of a tile and just fill up one of your a little onesie spots on your board that maybe you're stuck on, then that's going to give you 1 more point to score on your board. And then the way the market works, I hope this doesn't take. So anyway, the way the market works is you've got this market board, and it'll be populated with different shapes of these puzzle pieces, you know, in these squares. And then you have a gardener, which is nothing more than a great big green D6, great big wooden one, like that. That's what this is. And for a 2-player game, you're going to start on the number 2, and you start here, and you're going to move it 1 space every time one of you takes a turn. And you take these puzzle pieces from the columns, and then once it goes around the corner, you get to choose from the row. You're taking turns, going all the way around the board. Once you make a lap, you turn that D6 to a 3, and then you go around the board again. Every time you make a lap, you turn the die. So it goes to 4, then it goes to 5, and then when it goes to 6, number 6, it's your last trip around the board. But also when you go to 6, any of your garden boards that you have on your play area, any of them that have less than 3 puzzle pieces on them, you have to discard. So you have to plan for that. It can hurt you badly if you have a couple of them with just 3 pieces on them, because guess what? You have to finish those. And every time, in round 6 only, whenever you take a turn, you have to pay 2 points. It hurts, man. So you got to plan for that. And that's one of the cool things in this game. I really, really enjoy this game. This is the best one of the trilogy. Is it the best one? I don't know if that's the right words. It's the funnest. It's the funnest, that's not a word. It's the most fun of the trilogy. And that's why I kept it, you guys. And I really, really love it. And I'm glad to tell you about it, because it's just a lot of fun. Lori and I get this out and play it, and it's just a good time. And trying to put that puzzle together to maximize the points on that points track that you have to deal with, and move those cubes up. And which one do I move? Should I get one of my orange cubes out of the start position, or should I move one up the track? Like if you're on 14, you have to score exactly 2 to go to 15, then to 20. So you have to score exactly that amount to get into that 20 space at the end of it. This game is just awesome. The rule set is easy, and the game is just a ton of fun, and it's an excellent game by Uwe. One of my favorite games by him. I think he's got 2 more games on my top 100. But wait a minute, 1, 2, maybe 3. But not the usual suspects that you would think. Yeah, so it's going to surprise you which games that I think are Uwe's best. But that's Cottage Garden, and that is from 2016 by Uwe Rosenberg, and it does have a solo variant for my solo friends. So that's pretty cool. Okay, game number 42 of this 10 is Las Vegas Royale. Las Vegas Royale. It was originally Las Vegas, and Las Vegas came out in 2012. Las Vegas Royale was done in 2019. It has some extra stuff in it. The game is designed by Hot Diggity Dorn, Rudiger Dorn, and it's 2 to 5 players, and this is a dice roller, a dice chucker, and it's area majority. I just love this game. This is board gaming fun in a box, folks, and I really enjoy it. Even just the base game, and this has got all kinds of things in it, but it's about putting dice in casinos, and I'll just show you real quick. I won't keep you long. Oh gosh, I just dumped all the dice. Anyways, you get these dice in 5 different colors, and you get 7 regular sized dice and 1 biggie die. Yeah, it counts for 2. So you are trying to, let's see, you have to build this little, can I build this real quick? So this thing goes right here like that. So 4, 5. So it goes like, okay, here we go, here we go. I'm not gonna keep you, there we go. So it looks like that. Looks like that on the board. And so you're gonna take all your 7 dice, and you got a biggie die and 7 rings. You're gonna drop them in there, and you have to place all the die of 1 value. So you have to think about that. And I have to mention, the reason why you're doing that is there's money all the way around each one of these casinos, and there's 2 money cards on every die value. So you want the ones that have the most money, naturally, because the most money at the end of the game wins. You're in Vegas, baby. You gotta take a chance and roll them dice. And then you would take a look. The highest value is going to be in the 6 spot. So you lay those out according to the numerical value on the D6s. So this is a 6. So right now, I just rolled 4 6s in this group. And I could take all 4 of those 6s and put them on that high money thing. Oh my gosh, that's using 4 dice. That's using 4 dice. That's a tough decision because, I mean, you will win that 6 probably, because I don't know if anybody's going to, what? That's 4 dice, but you're using your biggie. You have to use it because it's a 6 also. That's 5 6s as you're putting in that, and that is going to win you that money in that casino. But you're only left with 4 dice to try to win some of these other casinos, and that's kind of slim pickings. I don't know if I would do that. But that's how the game works, and you're going to have to make those decisions for yourself. You know, what dice do I want to place this time? Then also in this game, it comes with 8 of these little expansions, I guess, and you put these on the 1, 2, and 3 value, and it adds a little bit more complexity to the game. Now, for instance, this one's called Lucky Punch. So if you place a die in the King's Casino, there's King's, Miracle, Sunset, Marina. I don't know if these are real names of casinos. I've never been to Vegas. But anyways, what happens is when you put a die in the King's, which is the number 2 value, in the King's Casino, you get to take this action. And there's 3 tiles. You can see where they go there on this board. 3 tiles. You're going to take those in your hand, and under the table you're going to put a certain number of them in your other hand. And then when you decide how many you want, you look at the chart, and for 1 tile there's 2 chips, and then for 2 tiles there's 30,000. For 3 tiles, there's 40,000. So you're going to try and trick your opponent by putting something in your hand and make them guess. Let's say I put all 3 of those tiles in my hand. And I say, okay, how many do I have in my hand? And they think and think. Okay, they say 1. I show them, nope, I got 3. Well, they didn't guess, so I get the reward, which would be $40,000. Now, if they guess 3, I get nothing. See how that works? That's a pretty cool one. And then there's some other ones like 50-50. I really like the 50-50 tile also. And that one, as you can see, it has a little tile that starts at this beginning. And then what's going to happen is you're going to roll this. It comes with 2 black dice that come with the game. All the rest are player colors. But you get 2 black ones, and you roll those 2 black dice, and whatever that number is, let's say it's 6. Okay? Then you say, okay, then my next roll will be higher than 6. So you move the marker forward and you keep getting better and better rewards. But as long as you roll higher in 6, so you roll higher in 6, maybe you roll an 8. Great. It moves up one. Then you have to name it again. You have to say it again. Okay, I'm going to guess that I'm going to roll lower than 8. So you roll the dice. If you get lower than 8, you can move that marker up again. And all the rewards keep getting better, from a chip to 30 to 40 to $60,000. Wow, you're really pushing your luck. Can you do that? If you roll an 8 and move the marker up, and then you say, I'm gonna roll less than 8, and you roll it and it comes up double 6s. Wah, wah, wah. I did exactly that. So you don't get anything. But you know, it's like a casino. You're pushing your luck. It's a lucky thing. And then there's another one, I think, that had different money values, and you had to either roll a 7 or doubles in order to win what was underneath the tile. There's like 5 different amounts, and the tile moves up every time someone tries it and doesn't get it. So that every time you go back and place a die in that casino, you get to try that and try and see if you can win the big money, which Lori did. I did not. So yeah, I love this game. It's outstanding. It is just so much fun. I play this with people who don't board game, and they just have the biggest fun with it. And that's what board gaming is all about, you guys. Board games don't have to be complicated. You're not trying to impress anybody. You know, the most impressive thing to do for a board game designer is to make a game that's fun. That's impressive. Hopefully, this is one game that you guys will think about, because it is absolutely fantastic. It's called Las Vegas Royale from 2019, this one, but the original Las Vegas came from 2012. You know, I don't know how hard this is to find. I don't think it's hard to find. I think you can find this Las Vegas Royale. It's worth every penny. It's, again, just a good time, a board gaming fun in a box. Oh my gosh, Las Vegas Royale by Hot Diggity Dorn. Yeah, nice job, Rudiger. All right, number 41 on my 10 for today is Splendor from 2014 by Marc Andre for 2 to 4 players. It's simply a card drafting engine builder. This game, when I first saw it, I said, that game is just too simple to have fun. It's too simple, you know, but people do that. I was guilty of it. I cannot get rid of this game ever. I just love this game. It's a race to 15 points. Whoever gets to 15 points, game's over. And you're simply trying to gather gem cards that allow you to get bonus tiles at the top of the columns. And this box, there's not much in it. So you got these bonus tiles right here. You've got a deck of cards, and you have 6 different color tokens that are housed in this insert. And those chunky poker chip tokens, man, oh, they're so nice. I don't know if it's that, what it is. Man, you're stacking them chips, and you're like, okay, I'll take that. I'll take that card for 2 diamonds and two rubies and an emerald. Yeah, I'll take that card. You know, it's just a lot of fun. And once you start buying cards that they have gems pictured on them, then you don't need to pay that in tokens. And that's what you're doing as far as an engine builder. And I'll show you some of the cards. Let's see. Oh yeah. Oh man, I mean, this game is just so much fun. This card takes 3 diamonds, 3, what's them blue things? The emeralds are green, the rubies are red. I forget what the blue thing is.
Sapphires?
Sapphire. Okay, so this card takes 3 diamonds, 3 sapphires, 5 emeralds, and 3 rubies to buy. Yeah, but it's worth 3 points, and it's a brown gem. So you no longer have to produce a brown gem when you're buying something that requires a brown gem. But let's say and you know how maybe you don't know how engine builders work. But let's say this card needs 6 diamonds, 3 sapphires, and 3, I don't know what that brown thing is either. The brown gems, I don't know what they are. But if you have 3 cards that have sapphires on them, you don't have to pay that sapphire price. And that's the way an engine builder works. So this card would only cost you 6 diamonds and 3 or whatever that brown gem is. I don't even know what that is. I can't think of it. But yeah, it's an engine builder, and it's a lot of fun. And again, in the market, there's 3 rows of cards, and they're ascending costs. And that is the beauty of this game, deciding whether you want to buy one of the cheap ones to get things going, or whether you want to kind of save up and get one of the better cards and jumpstart yourself in a different way. But I love Splendor. And again, this game came out in 2014, and I remember watching people playing it and thinking, wow, there's not much to that game, but You know, the bottom line, folks, is to have fun when you're playing a board game, and that's what this is. Lori and I really enjoy it. We have another version called Century Golem, and Lori likes that one better because it's a fantasy theme, and we also have that in our library. And if she does her top 100, Century Golem is going to be there in that list instead of Splendor. But for me, it's Splendor. I love it. It's so simple, and those poker chips, that's everything. Of course, in Century Golem, you got the gems. So, I mean, it's I don't know, it's to each his own. But I love Splendor. It's a simple card drafting engine builder, and I just love playing it. And that's it for today. I hope you guys saw something that interested you. Again, I'm really enjoying doing this series and talking about these board games. And if you haven't watched before, I've explained that some of the more complex games I put towards the bottom of my top 100, and some of the easier games are less complex. I'm light to medium games I'm putting towards the top of my top 100 because I think the majority of people aren't board game hobbyists, and I'm talking about the people on Earth. And I think these types of games I've shown you, like Splendor, I taught that to people in 2 minutes. Here's how it works, and we play it. And I think that's good for the board gaming hobby. These are wonderful board games. I love playing every one of these games, or I wouldn't tell you about them. I enjoy them. I don't see them leaving my board game library at all. I'm getting to the point now of these games where I'll never get rid of them. I'll be long gone and my kids will have to get rid of it. But yeah, that's it. I love every one of you guys. I love doing these videos. Make sure you like, because that you take a second and punch moves our videos up the line so that people can see them, and I appreciate when you do that. You've been doing so good at it. Thank you in advance for doing so. I love every one of you. Have a great New Year. This is New Year's Eve when I'm recording this, so yeah, have a bright and prosperous 2022 coming up. Hey, we're all going to be better this year. We're all going to be healthy. Bless every one of you. I'll see you the next time on The Bones Collector, and remember to keep on board gaming. You know why? It's the best hobby on the planet. Later, Gators.